I believe I can fly.
I know what you're thinking. That guy's an idiot. And while he probably wouldn't do great in a political debate or even an elementary school test, Merab Dvalishvili is a genius. A fighting genius. Here we have the 6 main attributes that go into being a good fighter. You could add some other ones. I don't know what else you could add. But this is kind of all I went for. Very simple. And just a quick illustration. Defense, pretty important, but like your chin could kind of save you on some occasions. Fight IQ, definitely somewhat important. If you're a really smart guy or a really smart fighter and you can use that to like get an edge on your opponents, then for sure. But you could get by without fight IQ and just be athletic. Should have put athletic in there. But athletic kind of goes along with what's next. Grappling, important. You got to be able to defend some takedowns, I feel like. Somewhat important. Striking, for sure. Got to be able to damage your opponent on the feet. That's key. But what is S tier? It's cardio. The most important attribute in all of MMA is cardio. And that's why Merab understands fighting better than everyone. Yes, Merab doesn't just have cardio. He's an international Sambo master. He can grapple. He can strike a little bit. He mixes them up really good. That's a skill. But his overwhelming skill is his cardio. And that is the most important skill in MMA. It's without a doubt. Merab knows this. Or does he? That's kind of why I'm like, does he even know it? He uses his style, knows that cardio is the most important. You could argue that Petr Yan's like grappling skill wise could be better than Merab Dvalishvili's. Like he's got some very tricky trips. Merab can't really control an opponent when he gets him down. He kind of just will shoot endlessly. He doesn't control them too well. He did a decent job against O'Malley. But the only thing that keeps him winning these fights, like in the Cejudo fight, where in the first round he loses it, but he just keeps chugging along. Doesn't matter if he gets hit. Really clean, like he can recover because of the cardio. And the cardio will always win because you will always push a pace that's higher than your opponent. Unless you get absolutely flatlined out cold, which cardio will help you with. Cardio helps, like, if you have good cardio, it'll help you absorb damage. Fluffy Hernandez is another guy who isn't the best striker, isn't the best grappler, wrestler. He can wrestle effectively, but what wins him fights is his cardio and his pace, and that's it. And he's dominating guys like Michel Pereira, someone who is way more athletic, way more powerful, more dynamic striker. Fluffy survives those early explosions of Pereira and just puts a pace on him that he can't withstand. Fluffy's cardio is moving him up in the middleweight division. And even a guy like Dricus in the middleweight division, he has, at first we thought it was very suspect cardio. We were like, this guy just gassed out instantly. But Dricus can go, and he's not the most orthodox striker, as we all know. He's a pretty skilled grappler. And like, we're talking about the top of the top in MMA, in the UFC. You're going to have to be skilled in striking and grappling. And if you're at the top 5 level or the top 10 level even, you're going to have to be really skilled in at least one of those areas to make it to where you are. So, out of those, once you've made it to that top 10, you are skilled in an area. What becomes most important is the cardio. It completely shoots guys like Fluffy Hernandez, who would probably be like a middle of the pack middleweight, like a GM3, who doesn't have any like outstanding skills, can strike a little bit, can wrestle a little bit submissions. It puts him, boom, he's like damn near a middleweight title contender. And a guy like Merab, he can shoot takedowns. Like you can grapple a little bit, strike a little bit, but if Merab gassed out in two rounds, he couldn't keep the pace that makes his fighting style effective. If he didn't have his cardio, it'd be over. The cardio, by far, most important skill in fighting, and guys like Fluffy, guys like Drickus, guys like even Colby Covington in his prime, these guys understand fighting better than everyone because they know that once you get tired, fatigue makes cowards of us all. That's the quote I was trying to look for. The great Vince Lombardi. Isn't the Lombardi trophy? Yeah, that's like the trophy in the NFL. I'm just trying to find it. The Lombardi trophy is the trophy in the NFL. So this guy's obviously very established. I don't know much about the NFL, if I'm honest. I know a few guys. But fatigue makes cowards of us all. Vince Lombardi is absolutely true. If you can make your opponent tired with your fighting style and you can maintain that fighting style. Another quote, I think Gregor Gillespie, which is a crazy poll. Remember Gregor Gillespie, guys? I think it was Gregor Gillespie or Gillespie, whatever his name is. Who, it wasn't really a quote. It was like in an interview, and he was just talking about how I knew I had to get myself tired to get him tired. But if you have confidence in your gas tank, and that's a big thing too, is confidence in your own gas tank, that you won't gas yourself out before making them tired. And guys like Merab and Fluffy, they know that what they're doing is expending your energy and not expending as much of theirs. Gillespie, I think it was after his fight with Ferreira, was just talking about how he had to make himself tired. So you got to be willing to push to that limit. And then once you have your guy tired, like, it's over. Your top 15 level UFC opponent that you're fighting is a coward, as Vince Lombardi said. Like, it's just done. It's wraps completely. So basically what I'm saying in this video is, if you're a fighter, if you're training to fight, this is Connell's Combat's advice, as if you care about that at all. Cardio is the most important. Put your cardio first, and the skills around it will come. You'll be able to train for longer with amazing cardio, but cardio's got to come first. Got to do those sprints. I hear sprints are really good for cardio. I hate that shit, which probably means it's good for cardio. If I hate it, it's because it sucks. Sprints, like those those explosions, not just long runs. Don't just go on 5-mile runs every day. Go for those sprints, those like high exertion activities where such a doctor right here. Those activities where you gotta exert a lot and then recover for a little bit and then get back to it, like on a assault bike, things like that. You could even put it into your MMA training, like kickboxing. Go 1 minute hard on the bag, and then chill for a little bit, like 30 seconds, and then right back at it. Because you're just going for a 5-mile run every single day. That's not going to be the type of cardio that you need. You're going to need that, like, oh shit cardio, if you know what I mean. Like, I gotta go cardio, gotta get this position, have to keep him here for the second, and then once he calms down, you can get back to just pushing a steady pace. But you have to be able to ramp it up when he ramps it up to match that pace, that intensity. And basically I'm yapping. But this video was just to talk about how important cardio is in MMA and how cardio's winning fights. And you might not think of it like as something that's crazy important. I mean, I feel like most people know it's crazy important, but using it as a weapon. Cardio has to be your weapon in a fight. Like, you have to push a pace that your opponent is uncomfortable with. No matter what style you're fighting. If you're fighting a power puncher, you gotta push the pace and make it so they can't just sit and wait on their power. If you're fighting a guy who likes to kick a lot, get in their face, close that kicking range, make it uncomfortable for them to throw kicks. If they're a grappler, out scramble them, constantly be moving, constantly make them hold on and defend takedowns. Cardio has to be your main weapon in fights, and it's proven at the top level with guys like Merab Dvalishvili and up and coming guys like Fluffy Hernandez and guys like Habib. Like, it's been a thing. Colby in his prime, I know he wasn't top of the top. Kamaru, these guys use cardio against Max Holloway. Use cardio against their opponent. They use cardio against their opponent, and that's how you have to be if you want to be a successful fighter. And that's what Merab understands better than everyone else. I've been yapping. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching, and peace.